Hi everyone, this is GM Sam Journey in Gaming. Putting together a game, and I guess I wanted to change gears a little bit from the four stacks of Origins gaming loot that I still want to share with you, and talk about how I plan for games. Now, I have a group of players. I've run two sessions for them. One was at a birthday party, which was great. That was a lot of fun, little one shot, and then we started session 0 last month. Built our characters. And right now I'm putting together the campaign, and you can see it here on this camera, the different stuff that I use to research. And I wanted to, it's a topic I've been wanting to talk about for a while, but I wanted to go over how I do it. I know there's a lot of really good videos out there of how, what to do as being a great GM, which is a really good internet series or YouTube series. Get on it, how to be a great GM, and others who put together some really good stuff. But I wanted to show how I specifically do it, just to maybe give ideas of what to do. So the world already exists. The setting is Forgotten Realms, obviously. The region that was decided upon was the Vilhon Reach. I've never run a game there, so this is really a journey and exploration for myself. I'm kind of familiar with it, Thay, Mohorand, and then down this way a little bit with Rashomon. I think I have the order wrong, but it doesn't matter, as long as I get it right in the game, right? So the but the Vilhon Reach itself, that lake area and the Sea of Fallen Stars, I'm not as familiar as I could be. So this is a challenge for me as a DM, and I'm taking. Obviously, I'm jumping right in, and I'm really happy with it. The players put together some characters. There's a rogue, barbarian, cleric, monk. Actually, two clerics, which is fine. One's a nature cleric, the other one's warforged, which makes for interesting roleplay. And then we have a sorcerer. Characters are from Calamsham, Baldur's Gate, the Vilhon Reach itself, Cormor, having been a part of the Purple Dragons, Wizard Reach, and Evermeet, Ganassi, or Ganassi from Evermeet. So the cool thing is I'm putting it at the time when Cormor had just lost their king, so that some of that is going to be pulled into the game, which I'm really gonna the story, the long story that I want to do. However, it's still kind of sandboxy. So the notes that I've taken a lot of notes, on these little cards that I use on the Reach, and in specific what's going on, who the main players are, the religions, the nations, the different things that are going on, the levels of interaction between the peoples, i.e. the human trafficking, which is slavery in this sense in some of the regions. And as a side note, you have to be careful when you introduce certain topics to the group. And I've already talked to the group. We've talked about our veils and our lines and veils. We've talked about different things and how, some of the cultures, races as you were, the way they have in conflict, and they're like, that's fine, it's a game, and they're all into it. So I'm really good at that. I mean, even though we've discussed it, as a GM, I'm responsible for making it safe for every my players, regardless of who or what they are. So that said, Baldur's Gate Sword Coast Guide, for the player that is from that region. Cormor, obviously we know what that's about. Here I have some more information about Cormor, so what happened after the dragon. So I have that information, so that helps fill in the gap. Thank you, Ed Greenwood, for this. This was a nice article. I'm going to reread it and pick it up. Then pick up the information that I need. I have Calimport for the player that's from Calamshan. I have the Spellbound information. This right here is from the Adventures League. I'm not going to use the modules themselves, but I am going to try to pull information from it. And then obviously there's Rashomon, and then Aglarond. The different, where are these pieces coming from? Aglarond and Rashomon and Spellbound, all that. I have my little alphabet so that I can create little handouts for the players. I have more information here. You know, the Lost Empires, specifically, the empire that I want to focus on is the one that has to do with the old empire, the old Egyptian style, Ra, Isis, Osiris, those types. That's basically what I'm going to use. You know, Unapproachable East to try to fill in some more information. Shining South again, some more information that I'm going to be using, and then my research into the Sea and Fallen Stars, so that I can go ahead and relearn or learn stuff that I don't know, and maybe pick up some things that I didn't know from other sources. And then you have the pirates, because there are pirates in the region, which is going to make some great gameplay. The Sea Devils, not necessarily to make this a core aspect of what's happening, but to give me an idea of how a culture, an underwater culture, would function, so that if we're ever in a quest or a story that takes us underwater, I could understand it a little better. So, you know, just to give that feel of what it's like to interact with people from an underwater realm. Then you have Night Watch in the Living City, which I know Raven's Bluff can be put anywhere, so I'm going to be able to use that as a city and get some pieces and aspects out of that. You know, all these books and be able to pick that up. Put this stack back where it was, in the order that I had it. There's some game modules and information from Dungeon and Dragons magazines that I own, doing some research. There's my Cormer book, which should probably put that with the Cormer. Wormskull Throne and the Murky Deep. So those are different, to pull ideas. Put this over here. Yeah. Okay. And then I pulled the faction sheets, little handouts that came out for Adventure League years ago that I was able to get from Immortals. Thanks Immortals for this stuff. There's some really cool handouts in here, a couple things, magic items that I could use. So I'm going to be using this, you know, just as an intro. If they run into the faction and they want to go into a faction, they don't have to. It's just, you know, more role-playing ideas. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Over here, I have some more campaign information that I'm going to be pulling. I'm going to be using these ideas for some of the old ruins and seagoing stuff for the game. Then, to help bring the world alive, I have Elminster's of Forgotten Realms book, which is really good. Or not Elminster. It is Elminster's Forgotten Realms, but it's written by Ed Greenwood. And then the Grand History of the Realms, which gives you dates and different pieces. If you guys can get a hold of these books, even just in PDF format, they're very, very good. You know, all the things that happen on a specific date, and they create a lot of hooks and stuff. This book in particular talk to you about the daily life of typical Faerunian in different areas, events at festivals, acting in the theater, medicine, you know, trade and merchant, princess, all that stuff. These two books, if you own a Forgotten Realms guide, Sword Coast is incomplete. I'm sorry. The Sword Coast and the Giants campaign are very, very incomplete. Go to DM's Guild, pick up the Forgotten Realms, Ed Greenwood presents Elminster's Forgotten Realms. Pick up the Grand History of the Realms. These two books, I think, are essential to run a really good Forgotten Realms game. That's just my opinion. It's the way I feel about it. I can't say enough about these. Obviously, the box sets, if you can get the innards of the box sets, they're really good too for each different region. They're not cheap. If you're going to buy them, the physical copies, don't worry about that. Just get the PDFs and you have all the information you need. Moving on, Monsters of Faerun, which I'm going to adapt, and then I got a hold of a bestiary for 5th edition because some of the monsters are really unique and the creatures you run into really need. All the maps that I need. Again, you can get these online. You don't need to fork a whole bunch of money, but I happen to be blessed to have been playing long enough to have gotten these back when they were in a different, different time. And then, of course, the core 3rd edition rulebook 3.5. I think this is probably the best book you could get. Again, if you can get a PDF, that would be good. Other than the box set. The box set's good. But this is for me, is my Forgotten Realms Bible. It's very, very good. I don't even pull out my old Forgotten Realms box sets unless I need the maps or just some specific that I want to expand on from the 2nd edition. Because I tend to run the games from the 2nd edition era after the Time of Troubles, around there. I don't like the spell plague. That's just no. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, this right here. Some more filler. Here, there's this right here is, I think, what is this? Oh yeah, rare necessities. So this right here is just supplementary information. What it characters, different things characters could use out in the wild. I'm gonna pass these out to the characters, or because they're all I think they're 3rd level. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's 3rd level. So they'll be starting with some of this stuff, having survived in the world. I've got this Forgotten Realms, Aurora's Whole Realms. This is amazing for shopping. Different types of items that you can get, and they're easy to convert to 5th edition. So this is a lot of fun. And then this is just a parrot 12 Steps to Swashbuckling, Dragon Magazine 273. So something to add. And then Sembia's here, which is on the northern part of the Sea of Fallen Stars. So that gives you some ideas for stuff. So anyway, specifically, what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll pick out key pieces of information and I'll write it down. So for the characters, I want to write down what should they know as just a general ex-citizen of that region or current citizen if they're from the Reach, and give that to them, and then let them use that information. Things that these are the temples that are here. Here's the merchants that are here. These things So if the character ever visits that region, they can go, hey, I know a good merchant. And go there, and then we can have that interaction, and then it just makes the world feel more alive. Then it also creates hooks. So for a character that had returned to Waterdeep in the previous campaign, they ran into some old thugs and criminals from that era that were like, hey, you owe us money, and that created a side quest and a bunch of a series of events that they had to sit there, and the character was like, oh yeah, I remember you guys. No, I don't want to be your friends anymore. And it just a big to do, and they wound up taking out that thieves guild and looting their stuff. So, and just removing some players from the Waterdeep underground. Keep a separate notebook for your games. It's important. And take notes as you play. Don't try to keep it all up here, which I've been guilty of, which is not good. And use cards. I take these and I pass notes to the players so that they can pretty much hey this, or hey, you just saw this. If it's just a general perception check, I'll just tell the character and then let them figure out if they've been told. But if it's something that I kind of want to create intrigue, I'll slip the character a note and say, here you go. So back to this. So I'll do the research. I'll pick up different hooks, different things, and I don't want to railroad the characters, although there is a story. There's an overall story that I'm going to be doing. It has to do with some people that wear red robes. Excuse me, I just said what they are. Red robes. But that's not the whole thing. They can go a bunch of different ways if they want, because the region is so big and they're from different places. And then the thing that's going on with Cormer, you got Rashaman and Mohorand. There's politics in play all through the region. So that's why it's good to take a lot of good notes. And the way I run games is like you have your main plot, and then you have your character plots, and then you have subplots that come in, kind of like that little question mark over your head when you're playing World of Warcraft, things like that, and then players can run around, and I try to feed those into the story, and then if they ignore the question mark, that's fine. It's gone. It is what it is. They moved on. There may be some impact. There may not be. It really depends on how important it is. I.e., hey, can you help us? We're being attacked by orcs. Nah, we got stuff to do. We're going over here. And then on the way back, they run into the town. The town's devastated. It's gone. It is what it is. So, and then they can decide, you know what, we're going to avenge these people. Or we're just going to get rid of the orcs so they don't do it again. Or we're going to go after the evil human cult that was over there that was, part of that. Or they're the ones that actually did it. They just tricked the orcs into doing it. So whatever that is, just to try to make the world alive, and I add herbalism. So I need that book. Mr. Guide to Forgotten Realms, because there's some good herbalism stuff in there. Plant life, fauna and flora, things. They want to go and grab some pelts and sell them. How does that work? Do the Wemics get involved? Which there are Wemics. There are Wemics tribe in there. The Druids of Sylvanus. So there's a lot of different pieces that I'm trying to put together, and I'm not going to be perfect. Don't be. You have your cards. You may run a whole session and realize, I didn't do this. That's okay. You can put it aside, or you can just throw it away and say, forget it. So, anyway. So that's just a little bit into my mindset on how I run games, or how I prepare for games, excuse me. And happy gaming. Take care. Bye-bye.